Saints didn't win this one largely because Saquon Barkley was great. He becomes the fourth player in NFL history with 400 scrimmage yards and 5 touchdowns through his team's through the first 3 games for the franchise, I should say, joining Kareem Hunt, Randy Moss, and Billy Sims. Tim Hasselbeck with us in studio. They also won this game in large part because their defense was fantastic. They really dominate the box score in this one. In terms of fixing something from Monday night, like you heard it, Sirianni say it was tough. If they fix something here, other than scoring more than the other team, what was it?
Well, I think that, understanding that their team is growing. Your team is different than you are a year ago. Think of the changes they've had. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, personnel on their team. You mentioned Saquon, obviously a big part of it. So, getting Saquon going, obviously a very big part of something that's different. We had it in the highlight, the tush push. Look, they were a team a year ago where it was like they really just needed 8 yards because they would get the other 2. They obviously don't have the same confidence in that. So your offense operates differently. And so I think that what Nick Sirianni is kind of saying is you got to learn. You got to also learn who you are this season. And I think that when you look at them defensively, they played really well. When you look at how Jalen Hurts is evolving as a passer, I think he's continuing to improve in that, in the new system. So I think this was actually a really important win against a team that, and you said it, was dominating people offensively. The Saints were rolling.
91 points their first 2 games. They only get 12 in this. And again, only had 6 until that Olave touchdown late. Philadelphia, and again, I wonder about the field goal bit. I mean, whatever.
Right.
He's got his ideas. He's gonna stick to them. But clearly, they're gonna ride this Barkley train, and why not?
Yeah, you should. And that's, I think, part of trying to figure out, okay, well, what is the workload? What is the right workload for him? How much can you use him, and how do you use him? But obviously, when you hand him an inside zone that goes 65, that helps.
All right, let's pivot now to Dallas, who loses, and Baltimore, who hangs on. When Baltimore is playing the way it is the first 3 quarters, and the way they did largely the first 3 quarters against the Raiders a week ago, their good is as good as anybody. And I wasn't really paying attention to that game. It's on, and we're watching it, but it's like that. We're watching San Francisco and the Rams because that game was way more competitive. Yeah. And then you blink, and it's a 3-point game. And I'm thinking, I can't believe this is happening again. They've lost 4 double-digit leads in the fourth quarter in the last 3 seasons, and they're an excellent team. What is that commonality, if there is something?
Yeah, and that's funny. We kind of talked about it last week. What is it? What's the theme in it? And seeing it happen today, it was and because people are talking about it, it can become a thing in your own locker room. But at the same time, I think you also look at it and go, well, those other leads don't have Zay Flowers muffing an onside kick.
Right.
They don't always have a missed tackle by Kyle Hamilton in the open field. They don't always have, a
couple of penalties
that make you wonder, that was illegal contact. Wait a second, this was roughing the passer. And so and the reason I show those, not to say oh, hey, the officials are bad, but to say, rather than believing the narrative of hey, you're the team that blows these leads, you're the team that can't finish, you're the team that can't close, rather than doing that, I actually think that it's a statement by the Ravens to say, no. Even with all of that stuff happening, we're still going to close with Derrick Henry and running Lamar late in the game.
Well, and they had a Zay Flowers first down. They completed a pass to him for a first down, and then they ran that sort of option. Here it is, where.
Well, listen, it's essentially a version of power read with your quarterback.
Put it to bed.
So, and they did that. And I think that's why when we've talked about them blowing leads in the past, you say, well, they're good defensively. They're usually really good on special teams. And then they run the football. I also think it was encouraging for Ravens fans to see that Derrick Henry created some stuff on his own today. It wasn't just, we're going to hand it to you 27 times. He created some stuff on his own. That was a good sign for them.
We don't have a ton of time for Dallas. Are they good or they stink?
When you hear Micah Parsons afterwards,
that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't really sound like a very unified group.
No,